right, big news that we are tracking concerning the fact that in Jammu and Kashmir, while the fourth anti-terror operations underway, two terrorists have been killed in Kokernag is what we're given to understand at the moment. In fact, search operations underway in Kokernag. Taking that point across to my colleague Pradeep Datta, who will tell us more as far as this is concerned. Pradeep, what do we know with the fact that now the latest being that it is a big breakthrough for the forces with two terrorists killed in the Kokernag operations?
Yes, today morning the moment of the terrorists was spotted. Immediately after that operation was launched in Larnu area in Kokernag, that's in South Kashmir. Area was properly cordoned, and while the area was being cordoned, that was the time when terrorists opened fire on the troops. Troops immediately took a position in retaliation. Two terrorists have been eliminated, and they are believed to be from the Lashkar-e-Toiba, and right now the operation still is continuing. Because during the last few days, we have seen the terrorists are trying to intensify their activity. Reason being that ever since the government has been formed, one, they cannot see the democracy here, because we saw during assembly election also large number of people coming out to vote, the bumper turnout. And after that, because they failed to target democratic process, curtail democratic process, what not, now the terrorists are trying to target development. And to target development, what they are doing, they targeted laborers also. We saw that yesterday only in Badgam area, in Mazama, that's in central Kashmir, they targeted two laborers who survived the bullets, and their condition is said to be stable. In the past also, we have seen the 5 to 6 laborers have been targeted. Because by targeting laborers, what they are trying to do, they are trying to generate fear psychosis so that the laborers move from Kashmir Valley and they can scuttle the development process, because once development is scuttled, because they want to convert Kashmir into another Syria and Afghanistan, that's what they are trying to do. But they will not succeed in this mission, because already we have seen that the government has provided enough security to the laborers also, and they are trying to build their confidence. And that's one of the reasons that despite their efforts to target them, nobody has so far left Kashmir Valley, and they continue to work on several development projects in this region. And right now, the operation is continuing in 2-3 areas, because if we look at the counter-terror operation, one operation is continuing in Bandipur area, that is in North Kashmir, where they are trying to look for those terrorists who are hiding there, and they have got input. The movement of the terrorists had been spotted in that area. So in search operation, they are already been able to recover large quantities of arms and ammunition during the last 24 hours. Another operation is continuing in Badgam area. Third operation is continuing right now in Khanyar area. And the fourth operation right now is continuing in Kokernag area. So the 4 operations right now continuing, and 2 terrorists have so far been eliminated. So far as Khanyar operation is concerned, as my colleague was rightly saying, that they are hiding somewhere in the residential house. So that's one of the reasons to avoid any kind of a collateral damage. Our troops are taking all sorts of precautionary measures, and they are slowly inching towards that house where the 2 terrorists are believed to be hiding. And so operation right now here in this area is continuing. So firefight between the terrorists and security forces is on. This is a congested locality, because this Khanyar area, downtown area, on one side is the Delgate, on the other side is Nohata, on the third side it's the Ranawari area. So it's considered to be the colony in between these 3 localities, and it's a congested colony. So they are trying to ensure that no collateral damage takes place. So right now the operation in this area is continuing.
Right, Pradeep. In fact, as you get us the latest and overall, of course, also draw perspective on that given situation, stay with me, because I'm given to understand as far as this is concerned, there is a reaction that has come through Farooq Abdullah. So we're going to listen to that and come back to you. In fact, let's tell our viewers what that big news is in terms of day after attack on non-locals. NC Chief Farooq Abdullah's mega claim. What is that? What has he said, considering the fact that he smells a rat over attack on migrants? Let's listen in.
इसमें एक बात जरूर है कि इसकी तहकीकात होनी चाहिए कि ये कैसे है कि हुकूमत आ गई है और ये हो रहा है। मुझे तो शक है कि वो लोग तो नहीं कर रहे हैं जो इस गवर्नमेंट को डिस्टेबलाइज करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, नहीं तो क्यों नहीं पहले हो रहा था, आज क्यों, क्या वजह है? इसकी इंडिपेंडेंट इंक्वायरी होनी चाहिए।
All right, we'll try going across to my colleague Pradeep Datta to get us more on that. But essentially, the reaction coming through from NC President Farooq Abdullah saying that it should be investigated. And he says, how is it that the government has come and this is happening in terms of the multiple instances that we're looking at? In fact, he says he has a doubt that it's being done by the people who are trying to destabilize the government. And he's also gone on to say that they should be caught and asked who is behind them. And we should check if there's an agency who's trying to destabilize Omar Abdullah. So the way, of course, Farooq Abdullah is looking at this particular situation is one, of course, he's asking for this to be investigated, considering the fact that he believes this is an attempt to destabilize the government, destabilize Omar Abdullah as well. And more importantly, with what has happened, he does state that he has a doubt, is it being done by the people who are trying to destabilize the government as a reaction? We listen into that reaction once again before we try going across to my colleague Pradeep to get us more.
इसमें एक बात जरूर है कि इसकी तहकीकात होनी चाहिए कि ये कैसे है कि हुकूमत आ गई है और ये हो रहा है। मुझे तो शक है कि वो लोग तो नहीं कर रहे हैं जो इस गवर्नमेंट को डिस्टेबलाइज करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, नहीं तो क्यों नहीं पहले हो रहा था, आज क्यों, क्या वजह है? इसकी इंडिपेंडेंट इंक्वायरी होनी चाहिए।
All right, taking that point across to Pradeep. Pradeep, we just heard what Farooq Abdullah had to say. In fact, he is smelling a conspiracy, and he's gone on to state that this could also be looked at a way to destabilize Omar Abdullah and the government. How is this being read at a time when this has to be a cause of concern in terms of the multiple sort of attacks we've seen, which is also a challenge for the security forces?
It's really unfortunate that once again the Farooq Abdullah is trying to give a clean sheet to Pakistan and Pak proxies, because everybody knows for the last over 3 decades who is responsible for all these attacks. Initially they tried to target democracy, now they are trying to target development, and that's one of the reasons the attacks are taking place. But unfortunately Farooq Abdullah is smelling a kind of a conspiracy. When you smell conspiracy, that means somewhere you don't you don't believe that it is the attack carried out by the terrorists. So he is saying that we need to catch hold of all those people who are responsible for the attack to investigate and properly inquire into the matter. Farooq Abdullah should understand one thing, because Pakistan and Pak proxy, they cannot smile on the face of people of Kashmir Valley, because they never wanted the government to be established in their region. They never wanted the democratic process to be here. They never wanted any kind of a development, because they are totally against the three-dimensional approach of the Modi government. That is democracy, development and dialogue with the people of Kashmir Valley, not with the terrorists, because they feel that is only going to lead to peace and prosperity in this region. This is one of the reasons that we have already seen a transformation during the last 2.5 years, more than 2.5 years, ever since the abrogation of Article 370 has taken place. And but Farooq Abdullah unnecessarily is trying to see the conspiracy theory in that. Farooq Abdullah should understand that this has been the handiwork of the Pakistan and Pak proxies. They had been doing it for the last 3-4 decades. In fact, they had been doing it since 1947. But unfortunately, Farooq Abdullah is trying to once again give a clean sheet to them, and he wants that there should be an inquiry. But I think this is the time one need to take a tough stand against terror-related activities, because if you'll keep on appeasing terror-related elements, you can keep on encouraging separatist elements, you'll be further encouraging them, and that way the political space, whatever you have acquired because of the election, that is going to shrink. That's what the Farooq Abdullah need to understand. But unfortunately, once again, for them, political interests seem to be more important than national interests. That is the tragedy of Kashmir Valley. Every time it is the people who vote for democracy, but it's the politicians who fail them by giving out such statement. This is the time that they need to change their narrative, and the narrative should be about peace and development and prosperity, and that can only be ensured if they stop their policy of appeasing these terror-related elements.
Right, Pradeep. Thank you very much for getting us more as to how this could potentially be looked at in terms of that comment coming through. But for the moment, we'd have to leave it at that.